Hello, hello everyone. I am here today. I'm ready to paint. Are y'all ready? Are y'all ready? Are you ready? This is Jen with Jen's Den Art, and I am here today. I'm going to be working on this landscape piece that I've been having sitting in my studio forever, and it's just not what I want it to be. So come on in and say hello. Hey, everyone. Hey, Lynn. Let me take my glasses off. Come on in. Come on in. Hello, Michael. So we are in the Den with Jen today, and this is our first and third Wednesday of every month. I go live on my page just to show you what's going on in the den and to do a little painting with you. And this is not the third Wednesday. This is actually the fourth Wednesday of August, because last Wednesday, my son from Montana was in town, and I took that Wednesday off to spend some time with him, and we got together with my other son, and we just had a great old time. So today is a catch-up day on my previous In the Den Jen that just never happened. So come on in and say hi, and yay, glad y'all here. Hi, Sandy. Hi, Betty. Let me know if you are a regular to my page, or if you're new and you're just joining us. I would love to know. I love to try to get new people coming on as well as our regulars, so that we can continue to spread the love. Okay, so let me tell y'all what I'm doing right now. I have this Stay Wet palette that I just recently bought. And I'm an acrylic artist. All I do is acrylics. I have acrylics everywhere in my art studio. So I'm still learning how to use it, all right? And sometimes I put too much water underneath my Stay Wet palette. And if I let it sit for the day and I cover it up and I let it sit, I come back and my paints, or you see how runny? My paints just went too runny. And so I'm still trying to figure out how to get used to using it the right way, I guess. I don't like my paints as runny as they're being. So obviously I'm putting too much water in the sponge, but I haven't found the happy medium yet. And I'm still working on it. So today I'm going to use this Stay Wet palette just because I really want to use a wet. I'm trying to clean some of it off because the water just ran everywhere. But I really want to use it, and I didn't have time today to clean it out completely and start over. So I'm just going to use what I have because I think it's a good consistency right now. Okay. All right. So I'm just trying to give myself some spots to put some new paint. I'm going to go ahead and stick that right there on the side. I painted this. Let me make myself smaller. All right, I painted this months ago. It was when I was playing around with painting just some really simple landscapes. You know what? I'm going to take me out of the screen so that y'all can see more of what I have going on here. Hello, Miss Janet Neely. How are you? We've been missing you, wondering where you were. I'm going to turn on my microphone and see if y'all can hear me better. All right, let me know if this is better. I just turned my microphone on. Member for 2 years. Yay! Member for 2 years. A mini triber, Miss Sandy. A regular. Lynn says she's a regular. Okay, so, oh, hey, Christy, you were at Red River. So much fun. Yay, yay, yay. All right, so this is what we're doing today. Some of y'all are going to look at this and you're going to be like, don't mess it up. Don't mess it up. I don't like it. Okay. I just don't like it. It is not, I don't like the way the clouds are. I kind of like this, but I don't like it enough to sign off on it and say that this is a finished piece. Okay. So what I'm going to do today, I've been in the mood lately, which I'm super excited about. I've been in the mood lately to deal with painting in a vintage way and adding some rustic looks to my painting, which is pretty much my signature of a lot of my pieces. So I'm going to keep it a landscape. I'm definitely going to keep it a landscape, but I'm going to change it a bunch. Okay. I don't know. I'm just not happy with it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just kind of start over on top of this painting, and let's see what we end up coming up with. Now, in order to get more of a vintage feel, and when I say I want a vintage feel, I'm looking for something that is more, what's the word I'm looking for? It's got more of that brown goldish tone to it. Okay, I'll show you something that we just did last night in my, well, if I can find them. Here they are. In my painting membership, we worked on something like this. Okay, you see how it's got those beautiful golden tones, and you've got kind of like that vintage feel around it. It's kind of a grayish white tone. Okay, so I don't want to go this brown, but I do want to I want to make this into a more vintage feel. I'm going to use a lot of greens, but I'm not going to use a really bright green. I'm going to use something that's muted. So I'm going to start by letting you know what colors I'm going for. The first thing I'm going for, I already have in my little palette here, is burnt umber. Okay, it's a dark brown. I'm not sure I'm going to use this yellow. That's just a yellow that was already in this palette, on this palette. I'm going to go ahead and grab I have white, already have titanium white sitting in here. Okay, I'm also going to make sure I use my Payne's Gray, which is already sitting in here. Payne's Gray is a pretty common color that I use a lot in my paintings. Burnt umber is another common color I use a lot in my paintings. I'm going to use some Naples yellow. Okay, that's this color here. But for the green, what I want, now where did that green go? I just had it a minute ago, and now I can't find it. It's a sap green. Here it is, sap green. Okay, it's a really, really dark green. You know that color, it was sitting right in front of me, and I didn't even see it. Isn't that crazy when you do that? I've always done that all my life. Okay, so this is a sap green. It's a golden brand. That's my favorite brand. I love using golden paints. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use, I'm winging this with y'all. Okay, it's one of those days where I just like to share things with y'all so y'all can see what I'm working on, and give you an idea of kind of the things that I go through when I'm dealing with a painting. So I'm looking for my matte medium. I just had it this morning. Here it is. Okay, I'm going to add some matte medium to my palette as well. All right, and that's going to help make some of my paints really glazy and transparent. And this color right here is one of my favorite colors. It is called Quinacridone Nickel Azo Gold. I use it a lot for my underpainting. It's kind of like a really beautiful orangey color, but it's very transparent and it's very, very vibrant. And so I always have this on hand to use. I put some on my palette. I'm not sure if I'm going to use it yet or not. The first thing I'm going to do though, you know what? I don't have black yet. Let me put some black on here. First thing I'm going to do is start working on that sky. I'm going to let y'all follow me through this. So I'm going to take a lot of white, a lot of white. I do have some blue. This is an ultramarine blue. I'm going to dab into very little of that. And I don't want the very vibrant blue. I want to gray it down. Okay, so there you go. That's more of what I want. I'm just using a just a big flat brush. Maybe the Payne's Gray will do. Let's see. Yeah, that's a pretty color. I love Payne's Gray. Yeah, that's what I want. You see that color? It's kind of like a grayish, bluish color. All right, so I'm going to bring in some of that. Let's make sure you can see everything that I'm doing because I'm not looking at y'all right now. Okay, good. All right. Kind of starting over, but not completely starting over. I'm just going to start filling in. Let's add some of that glazing. See how you can already tell I'm basically just muting the colors. And this is a thick canvas. It's one that is extra thick on the sides as well. So while I'm doing this, I'm going to make sure I cover those sides and the top. The top is pretty muted already, so. And the reason why I do it now is because I'm mixing colors. And if I stop and I don't have any more of that color, it's going to be very difficult for me to mix that color again. So while I have that mixed color on my palette, I just go ahead and use it on everything that I want to use it on. Okay, I already like this so much better. I've really, really calmed down the sky. And that was one of the things. So I actually think I want to go even add a little bit more white and a little bit more gray. So y'all are just basically going to watch me paint today. And I'm just going to take y'all through some of my thought process that I go through in my paintings. And what makes me decide on certain colors. And right now I'm really wanting to stay on kind of like that vintage side. So I want it to look old. Just kind of work in a little bit more of that Payne's Gray in here. And I'm going to make that I think I'm going to bring my horizon up. I'm going to bring it up to maybe about right here. So let me grab some of this sap green. I'm going to go a little bit higher. Okay, so this green is too green for me. I don't want that. So I'm going to grab some brown and I'm going to mix it in. And I'm going to grab some white. And I'm more interested in kind of like making it, I need a lot of white.
I'll show y'all what I'm doing. I'm taking my sap green. I'm taking a little bit of black. I'm trying to make like a grayish. See that? So it's green and black, and then I'm going to use my white. And then maybe a little bit of brown. Yeah, that's what I want. Okay, that's more of a vintage color to me. So I'm going to bring that in. Right in here. And you know what? I'm going to show y'all something else. Because I'm working wet on wet. Well, no, I'm not going to do that on this one because I really don't want a straight horizon. I was just going to show y'all how sometimes I tape my horizon off, but I don't want a straight horizon. But I am trying to make this a little bit more. I'm using a large flat brush for this right now. And I think what I might do as well is just going to kind of just work with a little bit of this here. I might do like a tree right here. Like somewhere right here I'll have a tree. Because you know, we've talked about this before. If you've ever watched my videos, you know I talk about the thirds, okay? And if you break your painting into thirds, at those intersections, at those third points, you want to have some kind of, I mean, you don't have to always have that, but you want to have some kind of object or focal point, I guess is the word I'm looking for there. At those thirds. I like the water. I do like the water, but I don't want it to be aqua. I want it to be more of a grayish blue because remember I'm going for a very vintage style. So basically I'm just muting all of my colors. This is the green again. I'm going to grab some yellow. Ooh, that yellow. I need a lot of white in my painting. I really do. I need a lot of white. So that's a little bit too bright. Calm it down with some brown. That's a little bit better. I'm just going to continue to make a simple landscape, but I'm just changing the complete vibe of the painting. Changing the color scheme. Changing where the waterway is. Don't get scared to do that. You have to just play. Just play, play, play. I'm going to go a little bit darker back here. And I'm going to switch paintbrushes because I want to work on my sky a little bit more. And since this one is completely full of green paint, I'm going to grab a filbert. Let's see if I can find like a medium filbert. Let's see. Okay, this is a good one. Okay, so here's my filbert. Coming in with the filbert, guys. And I'm just wetting it first. And then I'm going to go back and just shape my sky just a little bit more. Okay. This is Payne's Gray. I really want I'm letting this dry down here because I have a little bit too much going on down there right now. It's too wet for me to really do anything on it. So I'm coming in here with some Payne's Gray and white. And my my matte medium, which is helping my paint stay extremely transparent. So it's going to be a slow process, but you'll start seeing it come to life. So I've got Payne's Gray and matte medium and a little bit of white. And that's a little bit too much Payne's Gray. Just trying to spread it out a little better. All right, now I'm gonna go into the white a little bit more. And I'm gonna grab a palette knife. I need some more white on my palette. Okay, so I need to get some more white paint. I'm just going to put a big old glob of white out here. And I'm going to bring in some white. Oops, I got green on my paintbrush. I don't want that. Maybe just a little bit, but that's okay. Keep your paintbrush moist. I'm using matte medium. You can still see that little bit of green up here, but you know what? I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. It's okay if your painting is not exactly like a photograph, you know? If you blend in some of those other colors into parts of your painting, it's really okay. It doesn't have to be exactly like, you know, the real sky. Okay, I'm going to show you what else I'm going to do. I'm going to take my palette knife. I don't have quite enough white on it. This is just a plastic palette knife, and I'm putting some white on it. You see I have a little bit of the brown in there too, but that's okay. I don't mind. And I'm just going to play with different layers for my clouds. I have a tendency to make all of my clouds have this little bubble on the top of them, and they all go in the same direction, like they all start going down like this. So I'm trying to change my, and then they all look like they're in a line. So I'm trying to change my approach to how I get my clouds out there, because I seem to have a very strong habit of just, they all look like they're in a line, and I want to try to change that habit and bring in, now I'm bringing in some yellow, just a little bit of a cadmium yellow light. That's a lot of yellow. I did not mean to put that much yellow. So I need to calm that down. A little palette knife too. Just trying to swish it around a little bit. Trying different paint strokes to try to make a little bit more variety in here than what I'm always just doing these little circles, and then before I know it, I have these little hills all over the place, and I'm like, nope, that doesn't look good. It just looks too uniform. So just playing. I do not have a rhyme or a reason, but I'm just trying to make some clouds. Okay, I'm liking that. But I'm also going to come with a little bit of palette work in there, because I love the look of a palette knife in a painting. Even if it's just a little bit, I still love the look of it. And I'm just using a plastic one, actually. I'm grabbing some of my white. I'm going to check comments in a second. I have not been looking at comments. If y'all are wondering, if y'all are asking questions, I'm going to have to go back. Okay, so I want just a little bit, a few little areas with some brighter whites. And so that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. Feel like I need something right here. All right, coming together. All right, let me take a break from all of this and let me go back down here. And I'm going to use this paintbrush again. And I'm going to go with a dark green, even darker, green and black. Let's go with a really dark green. I'm going to put in some dark bushes in here. Just random. That's actually not dark enough, so I'm going to grab a little bit more black. I'm just making this up, okay? I have no template, but I'm wanting to have some different kind of bushes in here. And so by adding different layers of greens, I'm going to get that look of you know, some hills and things back there. And I think I'm going to go maybe up. I want this to be like a tree. So I'm going to start just kind of filling this in with a darker color. I'm going to make it kind of fat. So the underneath of the tree is going to be darker because there's like a shadow down here. Let's go all the way down. So I'm making this tree obviously come up a lot closer because of where I'm putting it. So I'm going to have, let's say that's the base of the tree. There we go. That looks pretty good. Just gonna have to come back with some layers. See how now you have a focal point and your eyes get drawn there. So then I'm gonna make it even more, have more of a focal point. I'm gonna add a little stream in here. And it's going to be kind of like a grayish. I don't want it to be blue. I want it to be more of a gray. So I'm going to go, let's go right here. I'm just going to have it come down. Something like that. And let's see, we're going to make, I'm going to put some bushes in front of it right here. I'm loving it already. Okay, I still don't have the right vintage feel to it yet. I haven't really started adding the vintageness. I am, however, using the colors that I'm using are causing it to have more of a very muted base. Okay, so I'm using greens, browns, grays. Trying to bring in some browns in here. And it's almost time for me to start using a little bit smaller paintbrush, because you see it's getting a little hard for me to. I have a very big tendency, I'm sure y'all see that. I paint by having a lot of like jerky strokes. Okay, not everybody paints like that, but I do. I have a tremendous amount of jerkiness in my paint strokes. And I don't know how to get out of that habit. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but I do that a lot. See how it's all coming together? It's really coming together very, very well. And I'm excited about it now. So down here, I'm going to add just a little bit more of that green. I like this. I like the little brown that I have down here. So I'm not going to mess with that too much. But I am going to start making some little, just some little like grass strokes maybe. Like this. Yeah. Right along the water's edge. Let's bring in a little bit more movement in that water before I start putting all that stuff in the front of it. A little bit more movement in the water. So I'm going back to the water and just going to add okay, so right along the edge of the water, I want it to be a little bit darker. Right along the edge. It's not dark enough. And grab a little bit of brown and green. Kind of like a bank. I work much better with a larger brush because it allows me just to stay kind of free in my movements. So I'm not crazy about the water's edge. I need to do something about that. So I'm going to come in here. And I need to liven up my water, kind of hit it a little bit. Let's go back in there. Trying to make that grayish watercolor again. It's a little bit too vibrant. Let's tone that down some. This I'm going to cover. I'm going to cover with some bushes because I don't really know where I'm going right here. So we're just going to. I'm going to grab some yellow and some more green. Just bring in some lighter shades. All right, let's get that palette knife some work. I need to come in here and do a little bit. So I'm using just a little bit of green and brown, and I'm mixing those two together right now. Really, really light shade. Oops, that's way too light. I accidentally hit the white paint with the tip of my palette knife. So I do not want that. See how that palette knife adds just a little bit of a texture to everything? Oh my goodness. I'm getting very excited. I think it's coming out really good. And I get really excited when that happens because that doesn't always happen. You know, sometimes it's just a complete flop and I have to throw it away and start over, or like at least paint over it. But I'm feeling really good about this one. Feeling really good about it. Okay, I'm still not done. I love the tree. There's something about the tree that just says yes about the tree. I'm going to add just a few more little spots of lightness in there. The tree was a total accident, but I love it. Okay, I'm not done. I'm not done, but I'm almost done. So let me check where we are comment-wise. I'm going to take a little break and see if anybody is still watching me. Okay. The screen is frozen. Are we back? Screen is frozen. Still frozen. Oh, no. Oh, okay, I'm back in. Okay, good, good, good. All right, so sorry, y'all. I didn't know. How long was it frozen? I hope it wasn't frozen for long. All right, now when I look at it in the video camera, in the video, I do not like this area. This is a little... This is a little chunky right here. So I'm going to see, did y'all have any questions? Because I have not been checking comments. Let's see. Frozen, frozen, frozen. She's not looking at any comments yet. The tree is super gorgeous. I love it. Notice that I added a really dark color at the bottom. Okay. And these little white spots in there is actually the sky behind it. So I could add, I'm going to come in here and just add a few little branches. Okay, I'm just using like the edge of the palette knife. And even though they're not really connected to anything, they just give you, I'm using black and brown. They just give you like a little vibe of, okay, there's some little branches there. I normally don't use a plastic palette knife. I'm not sure why I'm using a plastic palette knife, but I did. Okay, I want to bring in a little bit of a darker shade right around the base of this right here, because there's such a huge difference between this light color down here and this dark color here. And so I want to give it a nice contrast there. So I'm going to add a little bit of dark color right in there. Not the whole way across, but like right on the bottom of these branches and these leaves, or these bushes really. I'm just adding a little bit of darkness. I could even use my paintbrush if I wanted and come in here and just tap, just add a little bit of like shaded areas down here. Okay, and that gives it a really nice kind of like a break right there. And then I'm just gonna come in here. I don't like this. Something's not right about that for me. I'm not sure exactly what it is. I don't know if it's too light, and I need to add maybe a little bit of darker color. Or maybe even, let me try this. If my husband were in here, if Michael were in here, he would be saying, "Stop, Ginger, stop. Don't touch it anymore. It's good the way it is." And he'd be fussing at me for still working on it. But sometimes that's the best part. All right, bringing in some darks. Okay, it's still not vintagey enough for me. All right, so what I'm gonna do is, like, I still feel like it's just still a little bit too modern. And I want it to be a little bit more on the, there's a big bird flying right above. Oh, it sure does look like a big bird. I'm frozen again? Oh, no. Okay. I agree. Your trees are awesome. I could watch her paint all day. Y'all are so sweet. Okay, I'm going to try something. Now, I've never done this before, and I'm going to do this live in front of y'all. So don't freak out, okay? I'm going to take a little paint tray. It's not going to ruin this, okay? I can always take it off if I don't like it. I'm going to take a little paint tray, and I'm going to take some matte medium, okay? And I am going to take a clean paintbrush, like a flat paintbrush. All right, that one's kind of hard. Let me find a softer one. Here's one like this. Yeah. All right, I'm going to use burnt umber. Here we go. Very, very, like a drop of burnt umber. And you see what I'm making? Oops. Yep, that's not what I wanted to do, but it's okay because it's what I'm getting ready to do. And I'm going to glaze over the whole thing with this color. Okay? I'm going to glaze over it. So this is what I'm talking about when I say to glaze. You see how it's making the whole painting have a little bit of a, like an old look to it. Ah, that's because that's not dry. That's my boo-boo. See how I did that? Okay, so let's take a little break. My tree was not dry. But I think you can see what I'm getting at here. You can do as many layers of glazing as you want. And just let them dry between. And I'm going to tell you again what I used. All I'm using is matte medium and a drop of burnt umber. And it's adding this layer of vintageness all throughout the painting. See right here, I want a little bit more. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a little bit more, probably do a couple of layers to make it even more vintagey, I'm going to add just a little bit more burnt umber, a little bit more. And I'm going to add a little bit more matte medium. And you know what? I'm going to put a drop of that nickel azo gold. Look at that. Oh, that's just to die for. Look at that color. So it's almost yellow now. So I'm going to be really careful with this because I don't want it to, but you know, like a vintage painting kind of has like a yellow tint to it. Right here in the corners. And up at the top. I'm going to add that glaze. Oh, I love it. See that? I'm going to put it everywhere now. I decided that I like it too much. So I'm going to add some more glaze medium. Now it doesn't have to be glaze medium. It could be like any kind of medium, but I'm just using I'm using matte medium. I'm sorry, not glaze medium. But this is just the one that I chose. You see how it just made the whole painting look old? Yes, that's what I want. And you can still paint over it. Like, this is not the final layer. This is not a sealer per se. It's just adding a beautiful, you know what? I feel like it's a little blotchy. So I'm going to take a little bit of water and see what happens. See, you can even take it off. See how it comes off? I'm just using a paper towel. You can take it off. So I feel like it's working really well. I'm going to add some water to it because I want it to be thinner. I want it to be a little bit thinner. I'm just going to add some more. I'm playing right now, okay? Because it's been a long time since I did this. So, and that's the only way you learn, is you just got to play. See how you can kind of take it off and move it around. I just added a little bit of water to it to make it move a little bit more. It was getting a little bit too sticky for me. But I love the finish. I love it. It just brings everything down a notch. And that is what I was going for. A little bit more right there. I might have to let it dry and I'll put another coat. But I don't want it to look perfect. Like, I'm not trying to make it look, I'm trying to make it look old. So I think I'm doing that, you know? I really think I'm doing it. I want a little bit more in there. Right on the edges. I'm going to have to let it dry, but I'm going to go back right here on the edges. See that? And get that old look. There we go. That's what I wanted. It's exactly what I wanted. So what do y'all think? I think it's a great technique, and it's been a long time since I used it. You can see how it just added a layer of oldness to it, you know? So fun. Fun, fun, fun. Love the way the sky is looking. The sun is shining on it. That's exactly right. It just adds, it brings everything down a notch. It brings it more to that golden. So just to let y'all know, this is the color that really made it spark. This quinacridone nickel azo gold. Okay, you cannot buy this in Michael's or Hobby Lobby. You're going to have to purchase this online on like Blick.com or something like that, and you can get it in fluid acrylics. You can get it in different brands also. Okay, but I think golden is the one that I buy the most time. And I usually buy it in fluid because I use it as either a base or a glaze is what I normally do with it. And it's a very, very beautiful color. So there you go, my friends. Love the way it looks. Yes, good. I'm glad you have the color. Yeah. All right. Let me bring myself back. I am so glad y'all came here with me today. I'm loving this so much now. I'm so glad that I redid it. And I'm actually going to play a little bit more with the sky because, I don't know, I just feel like I want to play a little bit more with the sky, but I have to let it dry first. And I might play a little bit more right here because I'm not crazy about this right here. I just feel like it needs something. But for the most part, we have a focal point. We have our tree and we have our stream kind of, you know, like brings your eyes to the tree. So it's just perfect. I just love it. And I hope you enjoyed it. And we'll see you next time. I'm going to be back next Wednesday because it is, oh yeah, it's actually the 5th Wednesday of August. So I'll be back again next Wednesday, and I have a surprise for y'all. We have a new pop-up paint party that's coming up, and I'm getting that ready. So we shall see y'all soon. Bye. Oh yes, I will put the color name in the comments. It is Golden Quinacridone Nickel Azo Gold. Oh, I misspelled nickel, but it's supposed, I put nicket, but it's supposed to be nickel. All right. Bye, y'all.